This is your WW3 news of a Tuesday afternoon. After the so-called anti-Semitic attack on that Jewish charity which was running those ambulance services, the alarm of Islamic terrorism has echoed in the United Kingdom and even in regarding it in Belgium. We've got troops deployed on the streets of Brussels probably. And the discussion of Iran could hit the United Kingdom with missiles. It's possible. And for what purpose? You launch expensive military hardware on a distant country, which could be intercepted properly, unless it's hypersonic missiles. The thing is, what they're not telling you is, while you're distracted, sleeping cells of this country and its proxies. And I'll tell you, they haven't been there since yesterday. They've been there for years. In every Western country, hiding in silence, waiting for the orders to be activated. What about these boat people which come in hundreds into Europe from Belarus, paramilitary trained by that country there to attack guards or anyone else who gets in their way, to be very aggressive? We have seen in the news, United Kingdom for examples, the so-called asylum seekers or illegals are very violent and very brutal and vicious as well. So there's a clear example of them. Was just an invasion force from the powers of B, which they call the axis of evil, which they're sending in. Mind you, the Latvian intelligence boss, in a Telegraph interview, did send off the alarm of these dangers which Europe are facing. And obviously there's an interesting thing what Funky Pepper had mentioned on his brief videos. The debit cards of these illegals, Middle Eastern, North African, mostly male of military service age, what will happen when their debit cards, free money, get switched off? They'll all run riot. You think they're violent now, they just will go on a rampage, and probably anything which they find in their way they will destroy. Civil unrest, probably the introduction of martial law, curfews and all that, all because the politicians were irresponsible, or they were deliberately letting these people in. Probably Brussels knew about this and they didn't done nothing about it. And if something probably in the near future occurs, like so-called terrorist attacks which has happened on European soil, like kamikazes in London 2007, 7th of July, which they attacked a bus and exploded themselves in the London Underground as well, and various other terrorist attacks which they done, and the local authorities know about it, but they turned to, turn down, the attention on these things. They do not mention the origin of these attackers. Probably were classified as local or God knows whatever. because they know too well these years, these sleeping cells are present in Europe, in every town, in every nation of the European Union. They are there. They're amongst us. And obviously that so-called claim they found an Iranian passport on the scene of the crime of the arson attack on those ambulances. It's mostly a decoy. Or probably some other foreign powers were involved in this type of attack, simulated attack. You know, it's typical of the Israelis to do these things, to drag people into war, especially Americans. Now you got the Europeans spooked. Now 22 nations were sending their warships down to the Middle East. If they engage with the Iranians will respond. They'll have no indulgence for them, this is for sure. And we have the so-called enemy at home, awaiting to be activated. And while this war drags on, and slowly, it destroying our livelihood and our society in some way. It's only a question of time.